Lions Rock Productions.
This is Jay Moore.
This is Greg Cruz.
This is Dan.
This
Stone.
is Dexter from The
This
Offspring.
is Nathan
This
East.
is Sebastian Younger.
This is David Labb.
This is Stuart Copeland.
This is Mick
I'm
Gillette.
Krista
This is
Vernoff.
Dr. Bob Greenberg.
I'm Laird Hamilton.
This is Rob Bell.
Hey, this is John Leon Guerrero.
Hey, I'm Mark Valley.
Hey, and this is Pete A. Turner.
Hi, I'm Marchelle,
Hi, I'm Kathy. We're with Charity on Top.
and we are sweetening up the Break It Down show.
And now, the Break It Down Show with John Leon Guerrero, Mark Valley, and Pete A. Turner.
I like that a lot. Sweetening up the Break It Down show. Nothing like sitting in a room full of ladies to get a whole lot of sweetening going on. Yeah, so Kathy Selders, Marchelle Selders, you guys run an organization called Charity on Top. It is a wonderful approach to charity. Because like I always think, I'm a middle-aged dude. The last thing I need for my birthday is a toaster. When I use you guys as an example. So yeah, I'll take some charity. So what you guys basically do, and correct me when I get this wrong, is it's Pete's birthday and my buddy Mike wants to get me something. He can just buy $10 worth of charity cards, give it to me, and then I can say, oh wow, this is important to me. I want to give this to #Rise Haiti, and I can hand it off to them over the internet, and they get $10 from me via Mike.
Right, exactly. And Mike gets the tax deduction because he's made a donation to charity.
How cool is that?
Kind of fun, right?
Yeah. Okay, so the idea is making it so that gifting charity is more accessible. It's a thing.
It's a thing, but it's also really personal because, your friend may say, I don't know what to get Pete, so I'm going to make a charitable donation. But maybe he decides that he's going to make it to the charity that he cares about. He's going to say, hey, Pete, I made a donation to the charity I care about in your name.
Right.
Instead of this way with Charity on Top gift cards, by getting a gift card and then giving it to you to choose the charity that you care about, it has a lot more to do with you. It's not really about him. It's saying, I love you. You're a charitable guy, and you should be giving charity to the charity that you care about the most. Maybe it's your favorite one. Maybe it's your new favorite one, but it really personalizes it a lot more than sort of kind of a standard donation does.
Okay, so let me see if I can create a scenario as we try to map this out for the audience. Facebook's really good at recognizing people's birthdays, and so you get hundreds of people saying happy birthday. So you can say in advance of that, and I know they have a mechanism on there for this, but you can say in lieu of flowers, in lieu of presents, in lieu of whatever it is for the occasion you're talking about, in this case, a birthday, you guys can just click on the Charity on Top link and kick in $1, $5, $10, whatever it is, and I'm going to give it all to Foundation X that I'm really big on, and I can't pull that money out. It's not Pete money,
right?
It can never be Pete money,
right? Exactly.
That's right.
Unless I start my own charity.
That's right, and we can help you do that.
But that's the idea, is that the money, you're able to give your friend money and something that they might find valuable, especially like if like their loved one has cancer and you want to donate. Like one of my friends donated her kidney.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. To another person, and he's still alive. So because of that. So back then, I donated $200 to UC Davis's kidney research thing, in your honor. But now instead, I'd be like, bam, here's $200 that you can put towards whatever,
Yeah, right. Because there's a possibility that you'll get the charity wrong. So you give it to the ABC Foundation for that diagnosis. Right. And really it was meant to be the national BAC. Right. That happens a lot. And, and we hear about that a lot. Like someone gave me a check in memorial, in honor of my father who passed away, and it's written to the charity that he didn't like because he didn't think they used their funds well, and he liked the other charity that has a very similar name. Yeah. What am I supposed to do with this? I don't want to dishonor my father by making I'm stuck. So if it's done through Charity on Top, the recipient gets to choose. They get to click the button on the charity that is meaningful to them. Yeah. And maybe it's changed. Maybe the charity, I give you the birthday gift and I'm thinking like, oh, I know the charity he's going to choose. He's going to choose #Rise Haiti. And you might. Or maybe today you decide, oh, I just found out about some other charity and I'm really excited about that. And I was wishing I could throw a little money their way. Oh, now I can. So I'm not having to guess what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you the card. It's meaningful. You get to choose.
Yeah, and Kathy's example, I think, is really important, especially in funerals and in memorials, because, we had a friend whose daughter passed away pretty young age, and they had asked for donations to go to these 3 suicide prevention organizations. And so people were showing up at the service, like Kathy said, sort of with checks that were made out to the wrong organizations. The names weren't right. It's just that. And the dad said, we were already in a period of grief. And so for those 3 weeks, now I'm the administrator trying to figure out, I have to call these charities. They're not necessarily answering the phone. I don't know what to do with these checks. I don't want to call the people back that wrote the check. So in that kind of, situation, what's really lovely about our gift cards is someone can do a really nice gift card on our site, charityontop.org. They can go to the shopping basket. They can upload a picture of that, person. Maybe they knew them growing up. There's a really great picture of them there. And they can load the card and give it to the family. Now, the family may still use it for one of those 3 suicide preventions, but at least they're going to go ahead and make the donation to the correct one. And they get to keep this really beautiful card. We have sort of this keepsake size that's bigger. We're the only organization that offers a larger gift card. It's almost the size of a small postcard. And it's really great for memorials and weddings and things. But that's sort of, it kind of takes the work out of it for the family, makes that sympathy gift a little bit more meaningful, something that they can keep.
Yeah.
And then they really are giving it to the right charity. Because it was awful watching our friend having to go through with those checks that were made out wrong. He was really frustrated.
Yeah, and it's just another thing too. Like a bunch of people bring money, like the God bless, and everybody's giving you like these checks. I've got to get a death certificate. I've got to deal with the cremains. I've got all these things.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to be this banker.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And then someone's like, "Hey, my checkbook won't balance. Hurry up!" You're like, "I'm grieving today."
Yeah, this is not what I want to be thinking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. I want to back up real quick and. Oh, let me ask the question because I'm sure the audience is thinking this. What's your guys' take out of all this money? You get all these credit cards coming in through the charity. I'm giving you my money. What are you guys taking, like 85, 95% of it? How does that part work? We have to deal with that so that the audience can go, okay, this is legit.
It's funny when you said the way you said it, like, what's your take?
Yes.
Like, I never thought of that. Like, we have a take. So our take covers the transaction fees. Basically.
Yeah.
So it's 3.75%.
Which is standard.
No. Okay, yeah. So we're motioning to each other to say, like, no, we don't want to be standard. We want to be lower.
Okay.
We want as much money to go to charity as possible. And in deciding what our fees are, we put the cart before the horse. And we actually just we surveyed what else is out there. Yeah. And we said, whatever is out there, we want to be better, and we want the rate that goes to charity to be the highest possible. And so our goal is to always be the lowest of any platform that we ever hear. And so that means our margins, our take is really tiny. Volume is going to be key for us. But that's what's important to us. The whole point is to get money to charity.
Yeah.
Our take.
Well, Pete's right, because the 3.75%, really any kind of merchant fees that we're paying for our processing is about 3%, give or take a little bit depending on what card they use. So we're really making just a little bit off of it in the grand conversation of GoFundMe pages or any kind of other CrowdRise platforms or whatever. They're taking anywhere from 8 to 20%.
Right.
And so when we're talking about 3.75, and what's really cool is when people make those donations or when they buy the gift cards, the buyer has the opportunity to jump in and pay for that 3.75%.
I say, what? Wait, slow down. So okay, I want to give $200 to my friend Robin who donated her kidney, and I'm like, oh wait, I could actually bump up and pay the extra $7 it is to process this thing for that because I don't want it to be her burden, and I want the charity to get the $200.
That's right. Yes, and it's super easy to do that. But here's the coolest thing: about 92% of the people do that.
Oh, really?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
People are cool.
Yeah, because we know it's there, right? We're like, I want this to...
It's a little bit extra for me, and I know the charity is going to get the 100%. So the charity that your friend chooses will get $200.
So whatever that number is, the people that are doing the giving through Charity on Top, they're glad, overwhelmingly glad to cover that for the person.
Because on a $50 donation, you're talking about $1.88. So people are like, oh gosh, yes, please just add that on.
Let me just round it up to $2.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Well, we should think about that.
Right. But all of this is tax deductible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are getting the tax deduction
even on that additional donation.
Because it's all coming through our charity.
Right.
Yeah. And this is might be a good time for us to add in as well, because some people will say, well, why would I go to your website, charityontop.org, to make a donation to another charity? Why wouldn't I just go to that charity directly? And we say, yes, absolutely. If you have a relationship with that charity, definitely do that. But there are times when you're going to make a one-time donation.
Right.
And so if you want to make a one-time donation and you don't necessarily need or want to be on that charity's mailing list, you don't want to get all their junk. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to say junk, but sometimes they really overdo it. They kill a lot of trees. So you don't necessarily want that. And sometimes charities can be in the bad habit of selling their donor information to other charities, which is why you go, why am I all of a sudden getting 5 different? So if people want to make a donation to a charity and they just want to make the donation, they will come to our site, make the donation. They do share their information with us. We don't do a thing with it. We never share that with anybody. We never use it and we never share it. So then they can decide whether or not they want to share that information with the charity that they're giving the money to. So I don't want to say anonymous giving because it sounds very, it's not above board, but we're basically saying if you want to make a donation where you don't necessarily, so if you want to support someone's 5K effort, or again, in a memorial situation or as a wedding gift, and you're like, this is the charity that they chose, I want to support them, but it's not my charity and I don't need all their stuff.
Well, we saw it after the hurricanes in Houston, right? And we did a campaign and we processed quite a few donations specifically for support in Houston. So I gave my $25 or whatever to lend a little bit of support, but I really don't need to get information from the Houston Food Bank for the rest of my life.
Right.
I love them. I'm glad they're doing their thing, but really I just wanted to support them after a crisis. And so we're a perfect way to do that.
All of the strong kind of campaigns, Houston strong, Boston strong, all these things. Like, my heart bleeds for you guys. I want to kick out $20.
Absolutely.
So they go into Charity on Top, and I imagine you guys have like a matrix or something of all the charities and everything.
We do. We have a listing of over 1 million charities. So you go, I know.
It's like 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that pretty much all of them then?
It is all of them.
Oh, it is all of them. So if they're legitimate, they're on.
Exactly.
That's
right.
If they're a legitimate 501c3.
Can you, and I don't know, so I'm asking, can you measure the veracity of their giving? Like the places that do take 20%, or like, look, Wounded Warrior has a bad reputation, partly because they earned it. If I don't want my money to go to a place like that, and there's a million options, can I rate them?
Well, we will have a rating system coming, and we partner with Charity Navigator, and so Charity Navigator does a pretty good job of rating as well. But here's the coolest part. Okay, so remember that 3.75% that we were talking about? Yeah. So if you go in to make a donation, or you've bought a card and the person redeems it for that amount, that charity now that you're giving it to, so let's say that we do #RiseHaiti, and you go into our website and you make a donation to that organization, you're going to pay the 3.75%, or you're going to cover it, whatever. The charity is going to get it. Now they're going to get 100% of that donation. 100% of that donation that is basically found money for that charity. Remember, because they didn't have to hire the staff to go raise the money. They didn't have to hold a fundraiser to raise that money. They didn't have to put the money into their fundraising efforts, which when everyone looks at that sort of giving pie, they always say, well, gosh, 17% of their money that they're bringing in has to go to fundraising. Well, guess what? With a Charity on Top donation or gift card, 0% goes to their fundraising efforts. So, and the money just literally goes to them, and all they do is deposit the check. And we make payments on a regular cycle basis every 30 days. So for them specifically, it's really nice because they don't have to put out any fundraising effort. So the answer to your question is, does it really matter how they're rated? Because you know that your donation is going to support that program 100%.
Well, that's the number I want.
Right.
Yeah,
no, that's great. Because and I asked some of these questions partly because I know you ladies, and I want to make sure we help out. That's one of the reasons why you're on here. But also because I know what the audience wants to know. They want to know, like, is my money going to really help someone, or is it going to line someone's pocket?
Right.
And Haiti's a great example of so many NGOs. And if you do want to give to Haiti, and they're on your website, that means that they're an American-based charity, as opposed to like whoever. Not that there's France is bad or anybody else who has one.
Right. But you know that they're regulated by the U.S. IRS.
Right.
Which they do a pretty good job of keeping track of charities and making sure that they're legit. And our list is updated every week. And it does refresh. It does change.
Wow.
Charities get dropped off.
So in case you guys have lost track, it's Kathy Selders and Marchelle Sellers. They run an organization called Charity on Top. And the reason why I bring that up is because, look, part of the Break It Down show, we have all these incredible conversations with world famous athletes and performers, but part of it is like, how do we deal with our heart and how do we give something back, and so I want to officially make it official that you guys are our point of purchase charity system. I don't know what that even means yet.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you.
But we do support Haiti.
Yes.
We support artists. We support all of those areas where people want to put their money to good work.
Yeah.
I would like them to know that if they come through here, I'm not going to touch the money. Yeah. They're going to buy it. And if they want to tell me, great, they can go and say, we want to put it in this pie and we'll put it in that pie for them. Or if they just want to do it themselves, they can. And get the money to the people that they hear about on the show, because we deal with mental health, we deal all kinds of veteran things.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, because this is huge for us, and we're really excited to be a partner in that. And I think what hopefully is the benefit is because you guys cover such great ground, and that you are working with even celebrities that have their own foundations or various programs that you're running, and like you say, we kind of run the gamut of different things that we're doing. Because you have this one-stop shop with us, we can offer all of those charities that people can support through Charity on Top. You're not going off to this website or going over here or moving your people around. It's really nice. And some people will actually make all of their donations through the year through our website because they can support a bunch of different charities.
Yeah.
And they can get all of their tax donation information in one place. And it just keeps record keeping. So for you guys, because you can say, gosh, we would love to do that, but this donor platform only supports 300 charities, so the charities that we're doing aren't on there. And that's what I really wanted to say earlier. This is awesome we like to brag because it's really a key point of our mission is we come from charity. Kathy and I have been doing charity work for 25 years together. It's like 50 years between us of nonprofit, and really understanding that nonprofit is really personal. And when we are able to offer so many charities, it's not always the big players that everyone sees. And it really goes down to what's really important. Kathy and I were on a phone call the other day. We were in a meeting and there was a woman on the phone. And as we were talking through Charity on Top, she was quiet for a while. And then we were saying one of the things that we love, one of our sweet spots that we really love is that we offer so many charities that everyone can find the one that they love. And people like to challenge us and they like to say, oh, but I have this little charity and it's not on there. And one of our favorite things, especially if we're with them, is to pull up our mobile site and be able to go like, oh, is it this one? And they freak out because we already have them, which they don't have. So the charities don't have to sign up. We already aggregate them together onto our platform. This woman literally on the phone said, oh my gosh, I just looked up this little organization. It was named after someone that had passed away. There's nobody even knows about this, and here's this foundation on there. And what was really special is she, all of a sudden, it meant something for her. Like, my friend's little foundation is on your big platform.
Right.
And someone can make a donation to one of the big cancer, organizations that we all know about, or they could make a donation to her little friend's foundation. And that's everything in between. So Charity on Top also, we serve as kind of the great equalizer among charities. Kathy and I have done our charity work, and we work for small and mid-sized nonprofits. We're always competing against the big guys. And we don't want to not support the big guys. We just want small and mid-sized nonprofits to have the same opportunities for giving and the same opportunities for sharing their great work, because everyone's doing incredible work out there. We want to give equal say to all of the charities. That's why we decided we don't want to pick. We're charity agnostic. Mm-hmm. It's what matters to you. And it's, in Kathy's point before, it's what matters to you right now. What's going on in your life right now that matters to you? Because it might be different in 3 months.
Yeah.
You might have your favorite charity, but it changes depending on
what friend gets whatever crazy disease or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. And so literally while you were talking and I wasn't paying attention.
At least he's honest about it.
I was actually paying attention.
Oh, you said was.
I was.
Oh, I said was not.
I acted like I wasn't, but I was the whole time. Because I'm good at this. So Rise Haiti, I look it up, and it's my buddy Kelly. He's been on the show with his partner from Haiti, Benit June, And this guy's got this crazy, impossible story, right? So he's in Haiti during the earthquake, and he literally punches through the building collapses. And it's like one of those ones where there's cement joists. So there's body width joists, and he's the one guy in the whole building that's skinny enough and in the right, and he does it. So he kind of does the inchworm, punches through the wall like something out of a Sly Stallone movie, and crawls to freedom and starts to rebuild. And it's incredible. It's incredible. So he's been on the show talking, and that captured Kelly's attention. He's like, I'm in. I'm going to help you get legitimate in the U.S. so we can actually get you money and all these things. Yeah, we want to contribute. We want people to believe in this guy, because that's just one of the times when he almost died. Someone shot him and robbed him. And he went, and someone happened to pick him up, happened to put him into a truck, and they went to 3 hospitals before they could save his life.
Oh, my gosh.
And the bullet's still in him because of the level of care out there was such that, So you have these people that you want to believe in, and they're on the show, and it's like, oh, okay, I got $20 for that guy to help him out.
But that's what he's designed now to do.
Right.
That's why he has survived what he's survived, because that's what he's supposed to be doing right now.
Right. So I don't know what to do with my life and everything else, but here's a person of destiny. They've found their destiny. I've got $20 for that person, and I'm looking right now at the thing where I could send him money through your guys' site. That's super cool. I also looked up Team Rubicon. It's like a military thing where they give service members something to do, and then they take chainsaws and bandages, and they go out to the disaster, and they're among the first people to show up.
Yes. Yes.
I got money for that,
right.
Yeah. So this is the point I'm trying to make here, is that you ladies have this great portal, and you can find that one thing, and you really can. I'm looking at Rise Haiti right now, and there's other things that are similar in name, but here it is with a whole mess of other charities.
This is the coolest part of our job, because we get to talk to people, and they say, "Oh, well, this is the charity that I support." And we learn all about it. Kathy, your favorite thing?
I constantly say that's my new favorite charity. My favorite charity is the one you're telling me about.
Right. Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, that's so great. Someone's actually doing this.
And that we get to raise money for them. Like it's already built into what we do. So not only do we get to be excited, we're like, we're raising money for you too.
Yes. Yeah. And literally your face lit up when I was talking about Team Rubicon. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Really
that's a great idea.
This is a great pivot point then. Let's go back in time now, because I'm a terrible host in this case, and we didn't start here, but let's talk about what it takes to do 25 years each in this industry and get to this point. Like, what's your founder story? How the heck I also love, like, wait a second, we can make a portal for I want to hear this. I'm going to shut up and let you guys tell your story.
That's kind of it, is us going, working in charity and together, just constantly going, we sound like a infomercial. There's got to be a better way, right? Because we're doing incredible, we do great events. So we're doing some really cool golf tournament, and we're raising a bit of money. And then we do some really cool charity concert, and we get some huge celebrity to come. And maybe it goes well and maybe it doesn't. And we're like, really? In this one case, we were raising money for a children's charity that provides health care for children. So we're like, literally some baby's life hangs in the balance of I won't say the name of the celebrity, but whether or not this celebrity comes through for us. Okay, this is a little nutty, and this is no way to run a business. And you know what? A charity is a business.
Right.
It's the business of a mission with heart, but it needs to be run as a business. And we just, for a couple of years, just kept saying, we love what we do, but this is just crazy.
It's so frustrating. Yeah, because you're
precarious.
It's super precarious.
You feel so vulnerable, and you raise money. Maybe we put on some tremendous gala, and we raise a whole bunch of money, and then we spend that money and it's gone, and now we start over, and now we have a budget of 0 again.
Right.
Okay. Knock on those same doors, beg of those same people, ask those same people to give up a cup of coffee, and you know what? They're not going to do it, right?
Yeah.
And so we just kept saying,
why is a cup of coffee the thing?
Well, because people were thinking
it's so accessible, it's so relatable. Like, I spend $5 on a cup of coffee without even thinking about it.
Yeah, but it is a thing though. Like any kind of money raising, it's always like it's a cup of coffee.
Well, that became kind of the cliche, and it was an idea, but it doesn't really work.
But because we're all drinking our coffee, we're not giving it up. Like we're like literally right now.
I don't know anybody that said,
But why not say, like, you know what, 1 haircut a month?
Yeah, you could do that. Right.
Just take an extra 3 weeks between haircuts and give that money to charity. Come on now, grab the phone and call.
That was it.
Yeah.
But But out of our frustration, it does. It's super cliche, but it's the truth because we were the ones driving home from these events.
It was always on those drives home.
Oh my gosh.
We would call each other and go,
like,
that was a great event. Okay, now what?
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what? Oh, I thought we were going to get this, or I thought this. You're put into such a position of, it's not begging, but it's not all that far off. And so charities are always kind of looking for whatever they might get, and they're supposed to exist on it. And yet charities are literally solving some of our biggest world problems.
Sure.
Literally.
Yeah.
And we have to kind of wait around for the money to come in. And some charities are really good at fundraising, but they're spending 17-20% on their fundraising because they are, but they're good at it, but their pie is bigger, right? So they're bringing in a whole lot more money, but they're still spending money, which that's how they're getting people to give.
But now a lot of your capacity is competing with the other people that are better at you or have a bigger budget.
Totally.
That's right.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you may have a really comparable program, maybe even a pretty great program, but you don't have the wherewithal or the resource to invest in that type of advertising.
Right.
And so you literally kind of and all the charities do the same thing, right? So we all do galas, we all do golf tournaments, we all do 5Ks, we all do annual mailings, everything that you do, there's not a lot of new tools in the bucket. And so I think that's where, when we started talking about there's got to be a better way, is through a friend of ours had said, what if a charity had a gift card that they could use, so instead of gifts, someone could give a charity would have its own gift card. And while it didn't seem to work specifically for one charity, Kathy and I kind of resounded on that idea and went, well, wait a minute, but what if it worked for all charities? And I think that what it goes really back to is saying, if we're looking at, we can't ask people to give up coffee, but when you're looking at how do we push more money to charity, how do we make sure that charities get the money that they need proactively rather than having to put out all this expense and time to wait around for the money to come in? What if we pushed money to charity? And could we do that using our retail system? So when you think about a gift card, for instance, the gift card industry is $149 billion a year.
Say what?
Billion.
Really? That
Billion
much?
with a B.
Like $150
billion.
I'm rounding,
Yes.
$billion.
It probably is by now.
It probably
that was last year. So
yeah,
$150
and that's just $100 billion.
Yeah.
In an industry that's just $100 billion.
Yeah.
I would like
Right.
10% of that. Yeah, I mean, that industry is growing faster than
That's
that.
right.
It
And
is.
charitable giving is around $360 billion
Wow.
a year. So when you combine those two powers together, you realize, it just sort of fits into a society right now where gifting is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Gifting is weird as you get older. It's
Yeah.
weird to ask for gifts, even
Right.
if you turn, you have a birthday and you're like, I don't want to ask my friends for gifts.
Yeah,
and,
don't bring anything.
And like you
yeah.
said, please don't give me a tie.
Yeah.
or a
Seriously.
toaster. I don't
Or a
need
toaster.
any
I
of
don't
those
need
things.
any of those things.
Well, my friends got the same one that gave a kidney, Robin. She got married to my friend Pickles, and they're both middle-aged people. They've had lives and they have couches. They have more couches than they need.
Right.
And they don't need more towels and they don't need Thanksgiving place settings.
Exactly.
Like what they need. And so, like for our reunion, because we're all the same basic age, we brought some charity on top cards.
Yeah.
Like, here, look, you're going to win this. And they're like, what's this? Like, it's charity. You get to give it to whoever
Right.
you want.
Yeah.
Because that's really better.
And that's what they're going to remember too.
Yeah.
So this thing checks all the boxes.
Mhm.
It really does, because it does push more money to charity. And it allows people to choose the charity that's the most meaningful. It gives you something to give them when you don't know what to get them. It gives them something to receive when they feel weird about taking gifts.
Yeah.
And it's just all in all, and they're going to remember it.
Yeah.
They won't remember the person that brought the bottle of wine, but they're going to remember you and your charitable gift, because they're going to know that you think that they're charitable.
Yeah.
So
whether they are or not.
Whether they are or not. So it's the social credit that's kind of built up of like, wow, they think I'm Pete thinks I'm charitable.
I want to come back to that social credit concept in a minute here, but I saw your note. I wanted to back up to the founder story. So you guys are calling each other from your cars. The money you've just raised is already spent.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you're just banging your head against the wall.
Yes.
Which one of you goes, what if we built a charity portal on the internet?
Well, it was sort of like Marchelle was saying, a friend of ours said, what if a charity, one specific charity, had a gift card that they could give and sell and things like that? And everyone kind of went, that doesn't make sense and that's not what we're talking about. Marchelle had the idea. She's like, it rattled around in her head for a while. And then we were traveling together to the Mayo Clinic to put together a team there. And Marchelle said, I keep thinking about something. I got to talk to you about it. And I went, okay, what are we into now? Let's go.
She's
All
a
right.
great wingman.
Let's hear it. And where am I going to end up after this conversation?
And by the way,
I've been down this road with you before.
Yes.
as this idea is rattling around in your head, there's also an MBA up in that head of yours.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not just an empty space
Oh,
like my head.
Not at all.
This is a cool idea, but you can't make any money from, like, that was the part that's the stumper, right? It's like, well, wait a minute. If we want all the money to go to charity, how are we going to make this a business? And that's
so that's sustainable, so that we get to keep doing it.
So you get to keep doing it.
Because otherwise, we just had a fundraiser and we're back to square one like we were before, where the money's already spent and now we're another broke charity.
Right.
And that's not...
And we don't want to be that.
No, that's not super fun.
Right.
So yeah, it was part of it was, how do we do this? And we realized that we can't sleep at night if we don't give as much money to charity as like super possible. So we're just going to have to go with our faith.
This episode of the Break It Down Show is brought to you by Lions Rock Productions.
That's us.
We publish, evaluate, and develop podcasts just like this one, consult others to build their own, and create associated content and content marketing strategies.
So if you're launching or expanding your social media presence, your business or your personal brand, or if you just want to take your media presence to the next level,
Reach out to us on Twitter
at Pete A. Turner,
or at JohnLG69.
at The Break It Down Show.
There's 1,000 ways to get a hold of us.
Now enjoy the show.
And know that volume is what we need to do. And the more that we can spread the message and tell people that we're doing it, that this is the great portal. So we put together, just like anybody else, a business plan, and we were able to draft it out. And it was a lot of kind of back and forth and
a lot of collaboration, a lot of making use of Marchelle's MBA, making use of each of our 25 years of experience in nonprofit and understanding that, enough experience in retail and in other businesses, Marchelle's experience in accounting, my experience with psychology, my educational background is psychology.
And really understanding like why people give. We have that conversation a lot, often. Like what motivates people to give. And I think that's where that social credit came from. It's like, how do you feel when you donate and you make that contribution, but then how do you feel when someone thinks that you're charitable? It's like sort of what we think about each other and how that's perceived.
We had Tall Jeff says
forever to be known as Tall Jeff.
Yes,
Tall Jeff.
He calls himself
he is tall.
He calls himself Tall Jeff.
Oh, okay. Well,
he'll text you
there
and
you
say, this is Tall Jeff. I need to buy some more gift cards. And he puts on an expo, like a panel speaker, kind of presentation. And he said, would it make sense for me to give, because I'm thinking this makes sense, instead of giving them a gift certificate to wherever or a bottle of wine, and I think half of them are not drinking, and that's awkward. What if I gave them a Charity on Top gift card as a thank you for speaking on my panel?
Yeah.
Right? And so he did that. And so he branded, actually is for,
Level Up.
Thank you.
His cards looked really cool.
Yeah. So it was actually for Level Up Pasadena, and we branded them for him. And so we used his really cool logo. It's really vibrant. It looks terrific on a gift card. So it's custom. So he loved that. So he's handing someone his branded material, but it's loaded with a gift for charity on there.
That's crazy.
And what he said later, he said that was so cool because they all went, wow, that's Jeff. That's Tall Jeff's space. Like, he's a charitable guy.
Right.
He didn't give me a piece of crap.
How slick is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I should, in fairness, point out that Kathy also has a master's degree, and you went to Pepperdine.
Not in business.
But still, I mean, but you were smart enough to go to Pepperdine.
You're business adjacent.
I did. You're right.
Psychology of business.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So this is neat. And I know you guys have a huge beat a little, I don't know, I guess C, but then there's also the charity side.
Right.
You guys
so it's beat a nonprofit.
Right. Yeah.
Beat a
What do you call that?
Beat a charity.
Beat a charity. You have to say the whole word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
right.
they say beat a N, but most people don't know what that means. It's nonprofit.
But talk a little bit about that part of the mechanism, because that is important as well.
Something that we're folding out. It's interesting because we're out there with nonprofit, because of our 50 years combined.
I just had a funny thought. It has
That's
nothing to do with anything. When you say folding out, I thought, oh, that's an interesting way of saying things. And if you said fold up, it's terrible. But normally up is a good word.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
No. we're not. No, we're definitely folding out.
Oh no,
we're unfolding.
Unfolding.
We're unfolding
everything.
Unfurling,
Let's
unrolling.
use that, unfurling.
I had to take that aside because it's a strange thought that I had.
It's actually true because it kind of came as a surprise to us as well. We work on behalf of charities, and we have to tell charities that all the time. No, we're doing it. We're doing it. Right. You guys go do your mission, and we're going to raise the money for you because we've got this great way that we can push more money to you. No strings attached, nothing for you. And this is like sort of too good to be true. Like, nope, because we are who we are, and this is the charity world that we live in, that we totally love. That it's awesome. The charities are coming back to us now and going, okay, what you guys are doing is really great, and we need some new tools in our toolbox. Talk to us about selling our own charity gift cards. How would that work? So now we do go back to going, okay, we have a gift card platform that supports, all charities, but now they want a gift card that will only support their charity. So that's something that we're unrolling in the next quarter. And then also because we're out there sort of man on the street, one of the other sweet spots for Kathy and I really is we network. And that's a really cliche word for, we just have a lot of friends. We love people. We love talking to people. We're out.
Oh, you guys are a party. I mean, it's...
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I get why you're successful because you're right. You walk into a sales meeting. So one of our friends, he does his own show. It's called he's Hilliard Guest. His show is called The Screenwriter's Rant Room, and he talks about like pitching in Hollywood because he's a writer.
Yeah,
he's like, you come in and you don't go charity on top. Let me. Yeah. He's like, you start with your story, and you get them to believe in you, and they're like, well, will you tell me about your idea? And you guys have this kind of ability to do that, like. Everybody has a charity in them that's important to them. Great at pulling that out. And they're like, I need the first stuff. Let me go to the website and look up the thing. By the way, the website is CharityOnTop.org, and then you will see all of the things that we're talking about. So, sorry, I jumped in.
No,
Keep
that's
going.
okay. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, we were talking about that we have a lot of friends, we know a lot of people, and we just get really excited to make connections. Marchelle calls them love connections. Mm-hmm. I think we made a love connection today.
We're very excited about it.
It's very exciting. We talk all high, we get excited. So finding out what someone is wishing for and then finding someone else that does that or has that. And it goes both ways. And so like Marchelle said, maybe, a charity is saying, here's a good example. We're just talking on the drive over here. What we need is a payment system that's kind of specific that does these three things. More specific than you're going to get from Stripe or Square or whomever. And Marchelle starts going, who do we know that could do that for us? And so we put that on our wish list basically. And so when we were out and about, we were looking for companies that might be able to do that. And we were not able to find anybody that already had it going, but we were able to find somebody who would develop it. And so now we're making this amazing love connection between this charity and this payment system. Connecting those dots is just really, really exciting. And we're just seeing the dollar signs going, like in Fred Flintstone's eyes, like ding, ding, and that money that's going to go to that charity.
Yeah.
And money that charity is going to be able to save because their payment system is going to be way more efficient. And all these cool opportunities.
It's going to do the things that they want. And it's interesting because as someone's talking to us about various things that they're selling or doing or whatever, Kathy and I are like, oh my gosh, who that'd be really good for? What, such and such was asking about this. Oh, let's do that. Because I don't know. I think that we're helpers. We're helpers by nature. Mm-hmm. It's what we do. And so if we're out there helping everybody, we're helping. And we have conversations with companies who are saying, we want to infuse giving. Except the flip side, we had a company that contacted us and they said, we're starting our company and we want to choose a charity that we want to align ourselves with. And we had a really great couple sessions with them on really drilling down who they wanted to align themselves with. And it wasn't obvious. And so what they were choosing wasn't what you would think. They were a food company. And so you would think that they would kind of be doing something that was more food related. No, it was about women's advocacy. And
because that was their story. That's their founder's story.
Right. Yes.
And they had us almost in tears. Like, that's such a great story. Yeah. And so do you see why we want to support, women's empowerment? Like, that's what you need to do.
But you need to make sure to tell people that. So what we did then is we acted as the connector between the company and the nonprofit that, that type of nonprofit that they want to support. And we really made sure that not only were they connecting to the right nonprofits, but they were telling the right story. Because a food company, the consumer might go, I don't that's great. It sounds like this was at random. But when the founder started telling the story about that, it really linked in with their food company very easily. So I guess we are sort of this hub of like kind of electricity and network of sorts, and it goes in all directions, right? It can come from individuals and businesses and charities, and everyone's sort of going, I need to be connected here. And I feel like we're kind of the switch operators in some way when we're making connections between people. Yeah. And we do this all, like most of it we do for free because we just love doing it. And it bothers us. It feels like it's like we've hit this little stop. So if someone needs something, we'll sit on it until we find the solution. Right. Because we're just a dog with a bone in that way.
Yeah, I love this. And one of the things that we often find on this show is that we like to talk like the happy accidents that happen. Like you build this machine and it's like, oh, by the way, it can go the other direction. And so these are the cool things. And then someone else can come up to you and say, I know how to use your machine also. And it inspires these other ideas. Okay, I'm going to shut up.
I want to go.
Go ahead. Everyone's like, yes.
I could barely get that out.
Right? We're jumping
over the table over you. Yes, I'm sorry. Because
that's exactly what happens.
This is so cool. So we have this wonderful donor that works for this big company. They had bought a bunch of cards from us last year, and they bought a bunch of cards from us this year. They increased their order, which was great. And they were really wanting people to not just take the cards and then go and redeem them later. The company was giving them to their clients, and they really wanted to make sure that they redeemed them and that, it was great. So they arranged this special dinner, and they had about 60 people at the dinner, and they had made $100 gift cards for everyone and put them at the table settings.
Wow.
And during the dinner, as part of the program that this company was doing with their client, they said, now we're going to have what we're calling a moment of impact. And a moment of impact for us is when we're all going to come together and we're going to give to the charity that we care about. And we're all going to do it at the same time. We're going to have this great moment. They're on the East Coast. We're based in California. We have the back end feed so we can see all the charities that are being, and all of a sudden, at 5 o'clock our time and 8 p.m. their time, all of these charities, the cards started getting redeemed, and we can see it in real time, and it's popping up, and we're getting goosebumps on the other coast, going like, oh my gosh, keep going, this is awesome, we're so excited. And what we realized from that is that was that kind of one of those happy accidents when we said, oh my gosh, all kinds of businesses could do this. So we now work with companies that want to do these moments of impact. So let's say they're having a sales meeting, a regional sales meeting, or they're having all their vendors come in, or they're putting all their staff together. Yeah. Not just giving over the holidays, right? Because we can sell cards to the companies over the holidays, end of the year gifts. But those other 10 months of the year when they want to be charitable, but rather than the company going, hey, here's the charity we're all going to support, guess what, guys, take it out of your paycheck. They can do that too, but in this moment of impact at this meeting. And what we do is then we project up on these big screens the actual feed of the charities that are coming. And then as people are redeeming, they can do that on their mobile phone. They redeem for the charity that they want. So let's say the company wants to give all of their employees, they're having a big employee meeting. They want to give everybody $20. Right. So we load them up with those cards or codes. They can do these $20 donations. They'll have a moment of impact all at the same time. The person redeeming the card, the employee, can put in the charity that they want, or if the company says we only want to support these 10 charities, we can limit that down. Yeah. So they put in what they want. We project it on the feed. When the employee is done redeeming their card, they stand up. And we're actually putting in like a kind of a glow system, right? So that they can hold up their phone when their flash is doing, and everybody at the end is all doing. So you can see the charities that are being given, and they have these great moments of impact. What does that do? That was a happy accident. That came from our donor that thought of that their own self back east.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But what an awesome thing for the company, right?
No, this is fantastic because you can see. The company is getting this enormous benefit. They have this social capital that they're like, we know, yes, we're misers and we're mustache twisters and we're evil and all that. But
you paint quite the picture.
Right, yeah. But we do care. We are trying to give back because there's so many companies that do this, but they sell it improper. They're terrible at it.
They're quiet about it. And we're constantly telling companies, you're doing this anyway, and you got your tax deduction. That's great. You should. But you can get more out of this. You can get more bang for those charity bucks.
Even within your own company, where your company's like, you guys are selfish, greedy bastards. And you're like, no, look, everybody, we just gave, all this money to the charities that you guys
care about.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, here it is over on the other end at Team Rubicon, and they're like, bloop, 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 bloop.
Exactly.
Isn't that cool?
Like,
where's all this money coming
what
from
happened?
that we didn't have to go raise? I know. We
Yeah.
can send more people out now and really go and help. And it creates this time together too for the company.
Yeah.
And we're reading a lot about what millennials are looking for in the workplace. They want meaning. And you know what? A company that's going, we're just going to check a social responsibility box and think that they're doing good by the people that want to work in a meaningful environment, that's not working.
That's not going to cut it.
Yeah. And it's especially not going to cut it as we keep moving on because it's like, no, you show me where the genuine, giving is, because that's where I want to work and that's what I want to do.
It's really easy. I'm going to jump in just for a second.
Yeah.
It's really easy, like with the corporate social responsibility model, and you've got an MBA, so you understand this. Like we really are working at this, but then have no data. Like we gave just a number is not a story, know. But these things are stories. You can say that I'm not doing it, but here are all the events we've planned. Here's the money. Here's where it's going. Here's the impact. Like you can go downstream and go, this bend in this river is cleaner now because of this giving event that we had. I'm going to shut up and let you have your turn.
No. I was just going to say exactly what you're saying, but it's also about engagement. So now they've engaged in this scenario, we're talking about employees. So instead of just, their $10,000 went to cleaning that bend in the river, that's awesome. But now they've engaged with their employees and they've deepened their relationship and they've spread that bit of impact and that meaning. Yeah. They've shared it. And now their employees they've participated in that. And that just feels really good.
That's actually, we had another donor that did something similar, and that they put out the cards at the table when they were all together. So they did this both at their home during Thanksgiving dinner, but then they also incorporated it at work. So they had their clients sitting around the table and gave them each a Charity on Top card, and customized. We do all that stuff for free. It's great. That's branding fantastic. And everything.
Yeah.
And they went around and talked about who they would probably give that donation to.
Right.
So now here they are at a business lunch. These are their clients. They're having a conversation and they said, I didn't know that you sat on the board of that organization. Well, yeah, because I have a son with Down syndrome. I didn't know you had a son with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they start learning. And this conversation is like way more.
You're giving me goosebumps.
Right. The conversation's real, and that disconnection, because, employee engagement is really hard to keep up, Especially because I sit on a board of this thing. Like we've got a show coming up with a guy whose son he's autistic, and he runs this Autisable organization, and
that's what's called Autisable.
That's a charity.
Able, right.
My new favorite charity. We raise money for them.
Yeah, see,
perfect.
Exactly. And the thing is, with what they do is okay, you're a parent. By the way, now you've got this new challenge in your life. You've got this kid that's autistic. Well, what are the rules? And so, how do they help these guys learn at the entry level? But then, how do you give them the master's degree parent autistic playbook? And so they need funds to help them figure these things out.
But let's say that there's a department at work, he works in a department at work, and the department itself gives out Charity on Top gift cards, and they all sit around their department meeting saying either where they already donated the money to or where they're going to donate the money to, and they learn more about each other. And they said, we didn't know you had a son with autism. You know what we should do? Remember the 5K that we do every year? Why don't we do that for Autisable? And I don't know, it just starts making a connection oh my gosh, my nephew has autism as well. Wow, they're both 10 years old. Oh, we should totally connect them. That my family has been through so much and they have all these resources. And so it's just this really human way. I just think it just adds so much. So, this is the way you can infuse, because companies can write a check to a charity and it's great. And that charity is going to cash the check, and they're going to write it up in their newsletter and say, yep, we gave this charity such and such, the $5,000 that we always do. Let's all get excited about it. That's great. And the company can continue to do that. And or they can give $5,000 worth of gift cards to their employees, clients, vendors, whatever. Let's say the employees, and the employees go out and choose the charities. And now they've got dozens more stories to tell. And it's way more personal.
Well, and then again, this goes back to the whole how you present this story that we were talking about, Kathy, earlier. You get to have my little social media film moment where we capture that, and this is us doing it. none of this stuff is bad, but when Valero's from my hometown, when they say United Way is our way of going because we want to kind of just blanket cover this thing, but it's going to be important to us. Now they have something even more powerful because you can still do that.
Right.
Fantastic work. But now you can also go, at this year's dinner at the crab feast this year when they all raise money because they do a crab feast every year. All of these different areas you're able to do this. So this is like the B2B element where you guys are selling to these corporations. Is there some kind of, well, I know in the crypto world this is probably going to happen where you have a smart contract and you just like every time I spend $1, I want 2 cents to go off to my charity on top bucket and then just flush it over to you guys and let you guys deal with it. But is there something like that at Starbucks? Like every time I get coffee, because they have those savings plans where you can just like nickel and dime your way into $500 over the course of a year.
Right.
Is there something like that with a charity thing yet?
Not yet.
New idea.
All right.
My new favorite idea.
Tomorrow's goal.
Not yet, but we are launching charity gift tokens that we're very, very excited about. And that will be a great way I could send you a Starbucks token through a text mechanism. Yeah. You can actually use that, and a percentage then will go to Charity on Top or support charities.
Wow.
So yeah, they're cool. There are all kinds of retail brands that we can give gifts to each other. So it's a whole new way of thinking about charity and sharing.
So if I want to buy you coffee and then have actually literally have charity on top of that.
Yeah, cute.
So I give you a $10 gift card or whatever. Walk me through what happens next.
It's a token. It's actually like a little texted.
It's a
digital gift card, but it looks like it's a cute little circle.
Okay.
And, you can then give that to anybody that you want to. And because we're doing the relationship with company that's doing the tokens, then a percentage of what you pass along goes to charity. This is all being developed right now, but it's an interesting way in thinking about how we give gifts to each other. And it's great for hey, Pete, thanks so much for letting my dog out. That was really cool. I couldn't get home from work, and you were nice enough to come over and do that. Here's a $10 Starbucks card.
Oh, shit, Starbucks. Okay.
Right. Or Pete doesn't drink coffee anymore. He just gave it up. So we're going to do a charity on top token, and we're going to send the token to you. Yeah. Hey, thanks for letting my dog out. Here's a charity on top token. You go redeem that for the charity that you care about.
Because literally, if you offer me money, well, not me, but offer somebody that has money, they're going to go, come on.
It's almost embarrassing.
Yeah. You're like, you don't got to give me $10. You'll just repay the favor. And I was like, I'll repay the favor, but I'm also going to give you this $10 for charity, or I'm going to buy you this coffee.
Well, here's an interesting statistic. So according to the gift card, back to this $149 billion.
Yeah.
But they said the gift card industry says between 8 and 9% of people that go to buy a gift card. This isn't included in the $149 billion. This is actually people that go to buy a gift card don't know the person well enough to know what type of gift card to get them.
Right.
Or kind of paralyzed by that decision. Because, for a guy who has everything, you're like, gosh, if I give him a $50 gift card, it's like, this is like, and I can't really afford anything more than that. It's like seeming super chintzy. So they don't buy the gift card. Charity on Top fills that part too, because it's like, well, if I give him a $50 charity on top card, it really doesn't matter the amount because he now gets to support the charity that he wants to. So we're super excited because all of our charity gift cards are going to be on digital platforms. We're launching into third-party platforms. So through incentives, through the at work, some people have benefits at work with retail cards. We're going to be on those platforms, all on the gift card platforms, and so people can buy them.
Are you guys moving into the marketplace where consumer loyalty things are also
exactly
whatever kind of point
system?
Like
maybe you get points for your whatever mobile service you use, Verizon or AT&T or whomever, right? Yeah. And you earn loyalty points by being with them for a long time and paying your bills on time and whatever. And then you get to use those points to cash them in for
everything.
Gift card. So you can go, let me spend half of my points on a Best Buy gift card because I'm going to give that to my nephew for his birthday because that's all he wants in life.
Right.
And I'm going to use the other half and buy Charity on Top gift cards. And I'm going to give those out throughout the year when I'm going to some event and they say, please no gifts.
Yeah.
And I go, but I want to bring something. I have to bring something.
Right.
I can bring some charity.
Yeah. I mean, because I was thinking about times when you give out something charitable, in a desperate time of need. If you have a personal charter where you insist that you do it, or whatever, maybe you tithe at church or whatever it's going to be, but you it's the number of things. Maybe there's a life moment, like a milestone, you got an MBA, you got your master's from Pepperdine, those kind of things. But now you're taking everyday moments and saying this is an opportunity to layer some charity on top. Whatever it is, it's a reunion. It's any time when you could bring something that has value to somebody. You're like, hey, why don't you?
You're going to be our new spokesperson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because
you got it.
You get it.
You got it
and you get it.
I do get
No,
it.
you do get it because, and that's the whole reason why we call ourselves Charity on Top.
Yeah.
Because charity always is sort of thought about as last.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the red bucket in front of the grocery store, and you're digging the 4 cents out of your pocket and you're putting it in there, and that's what they're trying to live on. Like that doesn't make any sense. And what we're doing is shifting everything and going. Charity is going to be an option for you always. It's going to be there for your incentives. It's going to be there for your gift giving. It's going to be there for the really tough moments in life. It's going to be there for the really awesome moments in life. It's going to be there no matter what. And it's going to be, I just adopted a dog at the shelter and I love that shelter and I want to support that shelter. And oh my gosh, my aunt's been diagnosed with breast cancer and I gotta give that way. Or my church or synagogue's doing a big capital campaign and that's where I'm giving my money right now. All of those things is infusing charity into our life. And so our mission, our philosophy, we're fanatical about this, is making sure that charity puts itself on top. It should be on top. It should be the top of mind. So when you're giving a gift or when you're thinking about something, just think about charity as well. Yeah. Go, okay, well, I can get this, I can get this, I could get them this, or I could get them charity.
Right.
And the gift of charity or however you want to use it. So we want to be available for all of those. Basically, we're kind of this lifestyle brand in some way because we can be there almost literal. I don't think that we've found an opportunity where we can't be, quite yet.
But
so,
I'll think of
it.
something. Yeah. but you also are
stump the girls.
First off, I'm going to say this: my go-to gift from now on is charity.
Yeah,
Yay,
we have a new convert. Yes, welcome.
I'm
We are all welcoming.
We can brand them for you. We can put your picture right on there if you want to.
Little Pete tokens.
I want Pete tokens. I do because I don't want to give my nieces and nephews. I don't want to give them things. I want to give them experiences.
Yes.
Well, they're screwed now. They're going to get charity.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
so
that's a terrific experience.
Yes, and so glad that you said that because even in gift cards, all the talk among the gift card industry is the gift cards are moving into more experiential.
Yeah,
less brick and mortar,
less
merchandise.
Which we're seeing anyway in a transition and more into experimental.
And chances are your niece and nephew.
Experimental. I didn't mean that. Experiential.
Oh, experiential. Right. And chances are your niece and nephew are younger.
Yeah.
And that's what they're interested in.
Yeah.
They have their, maybe 3 things that they want for their birthday or for Christmas that are things, and they probably are already getting them. And then otherwise they want to enjoy life and they want to connect and they want to have meaning. And that's not reserved for millennials and it's not reserved for 50 somethings by any means. 8-year-olds want meaning as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they do. And they're aware because they're global citizens. And so they're aware of what's going on out there.
Yeah. And when I go to the gift card rack, like it's easy for a dude to be like, I always give out Buffalo Wild Wing gift cards.
Right.
And so now I'll have a different option. And there's nothing wrong with Buffalo Wild Wing gift cards.
No, just put charity on top.
Yeah,
you can do both.
We can do both, literally. And when we say that about kids' birthdays as well, it's like, you know what? Don't not get whatever you're going to get.
Right.
But if you give the gift of charity also, then it gives them an opportunity to really think about where they're going to get that. You know, and that's life. Life is where we want what we want, and we're, that's just who we are. But we have to put charity in there. It's the same thing as a savings, right? It's like, hey, you know what? You save money, you give money, and then you can get the things that you want as well, and you pay bills and blah, blah, blah. So it's more realistic not to say, oh, yeah, forget it. Now, there are 8-year-olds that'll say, I don't want anything for my birthday. Yes. I want it all to go to charity, this particular charity. And that's great. But if you also want your kids to start thinking about putting charity in their life and thinking about that decision that they're going to make.
Their relationship with philanthropy.
Yeah. Oh, I know Phil.
We know Anne. We have a friend.
We do actually.
We branded a card for a friend who was she was leaving a job at a big university, and she gave out as her sort of goodbye little gift. She gave out charity on top gift cards that we branded. We made her own little logo that says Phil Anne. Her name is Anne.
Her name is Anne. Is that cute?
It's very cute.
It's super cute. And it seems like we're approaching the thing where so like we have a Christmas card gift exchange thing where you buy a card, and no one wants to get like a charity card necessarily in this specific case, but if I had like, I can always buy someone a gas card, and they're always going to appreciate that. And
right.
The gas card also had some charity on top layered
exactly.
in. You know, or my Buffalo Wild Wings go-to card is $25 plus.
Right.
By the way, there's charity on this. You know, that then it starts to get really slick, and like you guys are saying, it's a lot more ubiquitous. It's a lot more available, so that you really can, like, you're raised. If you're raised properly, you're raised that you like always save some of your money. It's like, well, always save some, and then always create a little bit of charity in that percentage too. You know, then the rest do what you want to with it. Buy your things or whatever. It's cool. It's a cool concept. We're just about at our hour here, and I want to respect your ladies' time. It was fast, right?
It was fast,
really fast.
We could do this all day, though.
I know, but we should
respect your time, right? We'll just keep going.
I was already going to say you're going to come back and do another one because it's such a neat thing, and there's always something. I mean, from talking to you guys over time, it's constantly the new thing.
We're constantly developing.
Meeting. Yeah. Like, I don't know why Microsoft doesn't have you guys, if they don't already, have you on their platform right now, because they have a rewards thing.
Right.
Where you can go and I can push the button on my computer right now like I did, and it's like, I've got this many, I've got a
He's checking his
points.
Balance right now.
Yeah.
I've got a bazillion.
I've got a
bazillion.
I got 56,000 points because I Bing stuff and I have a Hotmail account.
Oh, look at you, Binging and Hotmailing.
But
do people do that anymore?
Is that a thing? He does.
It's so old timey. AOL.com.
No. Well, interesting, because kind of like what we were saying before, because we're launching on these digital platforms, we're actually hitting the back end. Microsoft may, in fact, be a front-end user. I'm going to get a little technical. A front-end user of an incentive program that we're going to be launching on. The middle people are the incentive programs, and then what they do is they sort of resell to these end-user companies like Microsoft or a work-related place or whatever. So by us launching and getting onto those digital platforms, then Microsoft may, in fact, be able to offer us as one of the options for them because they'll already be integrated into that. So we're launching, it's about 300 digital platforms that we're going to be on in the next 90 days.
Well, I can also see a world where Microsoft says, hey, this is important to us. Whatever you redeem, a little, and, you're talking tens of thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people, it's just a little microchip of it, but you're able to put money into the pot for somebody or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
a lot more unfolding.
So much
I'm going to totally make fun of you with that. There's a lot more unfolding in just the way that people are giving and things. So Charity on Top has a lot that we're really focusing on to get good and a lot more to come. And so we'll have a lot more to talk about when we come back.
All right. That sounds good to me. Let's do it. So one more time to wrap things up, CharityOnTop.org. You guys can always come to Break It Down show. We'll have links on all of our charity-based things where you guys can directly give to them. But we're also going to officially announce that we're going to put a portal on the main page. So if you ever want to give something, we will give you the ability to get there. And even if we push the money out to a given charity, we're glad to do that. So whenever you want to support any show you listen to, if you want to support that charity, we'll provide an ability to do that. CharityOnTop.org. And Facebook is a good place to find you guys.
Yes.
Pretty simple. Charity on Top. You can get there. And that's probably the best place to find out. And if you guys want to find out from them, I can link you to them directly. You can always grab me at Pete A. Turner or at Break It Down Show. I will get a hold of you. This is important to John, Mark, and I. This is one of the reasons why we do the show, is to create these voices, whether it's whatever the thing is that needs a charity, that needs help. We want to provide a platform because we also get to talk to incredible people that are doing incredible things. And you ladies certainly fall into that category. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This has been awesome.
Cool.
Thank you for being so sweet, Pete.
I'm always here to be sweet, Pete.